Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni, Great Malabite. Action.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
You're welcome back to the Beats.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, NLC absent as federal government TUC agree on wage increase to cushion effects of subsidy removal. Yes, crude oil trade union center presents list of demands to government. Federal government demands not impracticable, set up tripartite committee. Parties to reconvene tomorrow to finalize discussion. NNPC lacks powers to fix petrol price. NLC insists, maintains there's appropriation for subsidy till end of June. Declares no division among its members ahead of strike. Electricity, judiciary workers mobilized for planned nationwide strike. PDP urges Tinubu to engage labor, blames federal government for lack of adequate consultation. Apologize to Jonathan, Okonjo-Iweala, Obi, Atedo, Peter side, tells Tinubu others. Yes, the planned strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress. There was a meeting yesterday of the federal government and Labour, but the NLC was conspicuously absent from that meeting, while the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, engaged with the federal government delegation. Of course, top on the list of what the TUC is asking for as part of the palliative is increase in salary. And of course, that is not something the delegation can accede to. And a tripartite committee is to be set up. Of course, we know how long it takes to change the minimum wage. The back and forth, you have to carry the states along. And of course, even the last salary increase, 30,000 naira minimum wage, which has since been wiped off by inflation and devaluation of the naira, many states are yet to comply. So how they will pull this through? But the NLC is insisting on embarking on nationwide strike on come Wednesday. And the Labour Congress, Nigerian Labour Congress, saying that there is subsidy beyond May 29. Well, the NNPC Group CEO on our program, yes, if you talk of budget provision made, but not cash backed, well, the question would be, how have you been backing that in the past? But again, no subsidy beyond June. NNPC has, of course, acted in line with the PIA and what it has come up with, a price range, not necessarily fixing of prices. Price range attributed to market forces, and that is where we are. But how the government will handle the NLC strike, if it eventually takes off on Wednesday, remains to be seen. Will the NLC attend tomorrow's meeting and be part of the discussion on how to cushion the effect of this subsidy removal? Well, tomorrow is another day. Wednesday is the day NLC has decided to embark on strike. And many unions, especially the Nigerian Union of Electricity Employees, they have already given directives to their members to embark on nationwide strike. Of course, the implication of that is that many Nigerians, if they do, many Nigerians will be in darkness at a time where fuel has gone up to power your generators. Well, it's part of the hardship that has come with the removal of fuel subsidy. Yes, pains there will be. At the end of the day, there will be gains. But how do we get to the point of having gains from this subsidy removal? That is what the government will have to navigate. But those who are saying that this government should apologize to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I'm sure Ruben will be nodding to that. Yes, because he took this bold step in 2012, January 2012. And of course, everybody, so many people went into the streets, shut down Nigeria, occupied Nigeria. And today we know better. The best time to have removed subsidy was in 2012. The next best time is today. So the government of the day will deal with the, of course, the repercussions, cushion the effect, but Labour is uneasy with the effect, the impact of this removal, which to Labour is sudden. Perhaps the government should have given some time between now and the end of June to put the palliatives in place, make it very clear to the workers what they will get by way of palliative before they will, but it is what it is. And we are dealing with all the consequences. The Punch newspaper, subsidy, NLC shuns federal government meeting, NLC workers back strike. While the Vanguard newspaper reporting that story, subsidy, NLC shuns meeting with FG, TUC 6 pay rise. Now, another story, the Daily Trust newspaper, bandits killed 62 in Sokoto, Zamfara villages. Communities attacked for refusing to pay levies. Governor Lawal orders deployment of more operatives. This is another sad story. As we've always had it under President Muhammadu Buhari, we are still hearing of this wanton killing of Nigerians in their homestead. Bandits asking them to pay levies. So these bandits have formed a government of their own where they tax the people. And of course, when the people refuse to pay, they kill. These Nigerians who have died, I'm sure there are many others who were injured in that process, because if a man receives a bullet in his knee, it will not be the same again. Government of the day has to protect these lives and property. And of course, the earlier we see something differently from this administration. Yes, President Bola Tinubu met with service chiefs yesterday, but nothing specific, reassuring came out of that meeting. And we just hope in the days ahead, we'll have better strategy. You look at the manifesto of APC as put forward by the presidential candidate, more weapons, more soldiers, new strategy, but we want to see this in practice to keep the country safe. Now, the Leadership newspaper, yes, has as a front page an editorial, our stand, subsidy should go, but its impact must be managed swiftly. Yes, the question is, how swiftly can that be done? That is why Labour, Nigerian Labour Congress is saying that, yes, you have to put in place these measures before you remove. Hence, Nigerian Labour Congress is asking, of course, TUC is also asking that we should reverse. But whether that is a wise thing to do after taking these bold steps, of course, is still a matter of debate, especially if you're on the side of Labour. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, exchange rate unification will crash Nigeria's economy. That's what the Daily Independent newspaper is reporting. But the president has promised that there will be a unification of rates. Ruben and Ayo.
Well, very quickly, I mean, again, what we're dealing with here is what I said earlier, that subsidy removal, deregulation has always been an acid test for successive Nigerian governments. But how you manage the policy formulation process is very important. And the major issue has always been stakeholder engagement, the people taking ownership of the idea. You formulate a policy. There isn't much argument over that. Everybody says, okay, subsidy must go.
Not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. The economists have said so. The IMF, the World Bank, even our own economists here, they've said it. But when you want to remove it, how do you go about it? How do you ensure ownership of it? And that will require a lot of groundwork, But here, we often miss, that process. important equation out of it. And that's why you always find policies resulting in policy somersaults or conflicts or the kind of disruption that this particular policy is confronting us with.
Maybe not from day one.
Yes, well, not from it. We had already said it that whoever that was going to become president was going to have to be faced with this and perhaps be unpopular in the first few weeks or first few months
from
of his
day
administration. Well, we didn't expect that. We thought at least, like you mentioned, the end of June was all we're hoping. Give us a bit of breathing space.
Well, some people, in fact, recommended that the government should not do it immediately. Maybe should also have peace, settle down. Anyway, thank you much.
It is what it is right now.